The Telemark Lodge near Cable was built in the 1940s and became a Northwest Wisconsin destination deeply connected to the American Birkebeiner cross-country ski race.
That made its 2013 closure and 2021 demolition so disappointing for many Northlanders and visitors. But the Telemark story is in the process of beginning once again.
That's right. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp was there today seeing what Berkey leaders are doing to bring the resort back to life.
When walking along the trails in Mount Telemark years ago, a new vision for adventure came alive for American Birkebeiner Ski Foundation Executive Director Ben Popp.
We thought, man, could we do something pretty creative here?
And in 2021, effort to turn that vision into reality began.
We had the opportunity to purchase this property again. The vision was really all about bringing back the Telemark ethos.
With the help of private investors, Popp and his team were able to raise $5.5 million for a $10 million revitalization project, using that money to start tearing down some of the remains of Telemark Lodge and rebuilding a new resort for future generations.
Certainly, as we look to the future, history is really important to us.
And they may not look like much now, but these pillars used to be part of the Telemark's main lobby, now planning to turn them into rock climbing walls for kids. And of course, over here, making sure to utilize these as well, making it into a lobby plaza where parents can enjoy their lunch while watching their kids enjoy the great outdoors. But obviously a lot more needs to be done, and they need around $5.5 million more to do it.
The next 5 is going to be coming from the community, the greater community, raising funds to finish the project.
Leaders saying this next step will be the toughest yet, needing donations from people like John Snyder, whose connection to the facility goes back to his childhood.
My passion is shared with many other people, but it stems from coming here in the 70s with my parents. They cross-country skied, I alpine skied on the hill right behind us.
A community connection to a historic building and cross-country ski race could breathe new life into the Telemark.
This is by far the biggest thing the American Birkebeiner will ever do, and so we look at it as a way to give to generations moving forward that hopefully my kids, my grandkids, they're going to come out here and get to be a part of that.
In Cable, Cara Kopp, Northern News Now.
And the American Birkebeiner Ski Foundation is on track to finish some of their project by next year.
To donate to the foundation, you could visit the link on our website.